Dessa?
Hey, looks like you ran away again. It's strange waking up and your wife being gone. And we have a flight to catch in a couple hours. Actually, I'm about on the edge of worry, but I know you always come back. Guess this is just also new, and it's scary, I get that. But I want you to know that no matter what stupid things we say or do to each other, I thank God for you every day. And I love you. Through the bitter to the sweet.
Remember? $500.
That's your 500 right here.
Fold.
That's to you.
Call. We'll see him.
Seriously?
Nah, don't take it so hard, fellas. I always win when the stakes are high. Yeah. What? Today? What time? Shit! Well, that's pretty soon. How come you're just now calling me? I don't care if you just got in. This is what I pay you for. Fine. But this is gonna cut into your share. Because maybe next time you'll give me more than 2 hours notice before I have to break into a house. Ugh.
Hey,
Hey,
where'd you go?
for a run.
I didn't know you were the running type.
You haven't known me long enough then. I run sometimes.
Okay, why do you go for a run on the morning that we're supposed to leave for Boston?
I don't know, I just felt like a run.
Alright. I see what you're doing.
It was just a run, Andrew. It's not that big a deal.
No, it's not that big a deal. I guess I'll just cancel your ticket when I get to the airport.
It's a business trip. Wouldn't it be better if you went by yourself anyway?
This will be the first time that we've really been apart since we got married.
Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
I gotta go.
Through the bitter?
To the sweet. Andrew? Andrew, I'm sorry.
Would you like some water?
No. I need you to let me go.
That's not gonna happen.
Well, you might change your mind when my husband gets back from the store.
That's good. But we both know he's not coming back. Not for 5 days, anyway.
How do you know that?
Doesn't matter. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be with him.
It's none of your business.
I beg to differ. Seeing as we're now in this present predicament.
It wouldn't be a predicament if you wouldn't have broken into my house, knocked me out, and tied me up.
A very valid protest. But we are here now.
Please, just let me go.
I can't do that. You've seen my face.
Well then, why don't we just wait for my husband to come home, see what he thinks about all this? I know he'd love to beat the hell out of you.
You know, Dessa is a strange name.
How do you know my name?
I know a lot about you, actually. Like the fact that you're supposed to be on the 7:30 to Boston. I know the sum total of the valuables in your home. I also know what I can sell it all for. What I don't know is what I'm going to do with you.
Let me convince you.
That's quite an offer.
No, I don't mean that. Let's make a deal.
I like deals.
I'm not naive. You're dancing around the fact that I've seen your face. That probably means you gotta kill me. But if I can convince you to let me go, you can walk out that door and we're done.
I'm a practical man. The only thing that's kept me out of prison is the fact that I always do what it takes to stay out. To get the job done and get away clean. And everything here is pointing to the fact that you can't make it out of this breathing. So, what happens when we both realize you can't convince me?
You do what you have to do. But first, you gotta give me a chance. My only chance. What you need is a good reason not to hurt me. What if I promise not to tell anyone? You leave and it's no harm, no foul.
I can't just trust you not to tell. I let you go and I've lost my leverage. You've got no reason not to call the police.
We could wipe the whole place down. There'd be no fingerprints.
That wouldn't matter. As long as I know what I look like, I'd never be safe.
You can say that to everything I throw at you. How can I convince you if you're not even open to what I say?
This was your idea. I don't care how this ends as long as I get out clean. Besides, wouldn't be any fun if you could just come up with an easy reason. Look, I know you didn't come from money, but you married into some. You gotta be pretty smart to work your way into a sweet deal like this. Use some of that know-how to give me a convincing argument.
You don't know anything about my marriage.
No? You met Andrew, what, 6 months ago? You've been married just over a month now? Andrew's parents have made a lot of money in real estate. Was there a prenup? Against the advice of his parents, no. How did you pull that off?
The man who broke into my house is going to judge my intentions?
Oh, I don't begrudge you, lady. I think you've got a solid con going here. Decent work. In fact, I respect you for it.
No matter what you think you know about us, I love Andrew.
Then why aren't you with the man you love? Would you got some fella on the side?
Of course not. I don't know how to explain it. And I don't have to explain it to you.
You better explain it. If you want to make it out of this alive.
I don't see what my marriage has to do with this.
I am looking for that ever-elusive reason to let you go.
I don't think you're the type of man that would hurt someone just because they were somewhere you didn't expect them to be.
I've always done what I had to. No more. No less.
Even if it was wrong?
There is no right or wrong when you're the only one you have to depend on.
So you steal because you have to.
Maybe in another life I could have been a lawyer or a physicist. But in this one, I'm a thief.
Well, did you ever want to be something besides a criminal?
What does that matter?
I'm making a point here.
When I was a kid, I wanted to clean pools. No kidding. I saw how rich people always had pools. My mom left when I was young. My dad didn't give a damn, so we never had much money. And I knew I'd never have a pool. But I thought the next best thing might be to clean them. I also thought a part of the job might involve getting to swim in them. I was a dumb kid.
What if someone had told you when you were a kid that you couldn't do your dream job because someone had taken it? They'd stolen it from you.
I guess they'd be doing me a favor. Okay, I understand what you're getting at. If someone had stolen from me, then I would say it's wrong. But I don't buy that. We all have to find our own way in this world. The privileged kids moved up on their parents' money. I found another way.
Give me a break. You probably spent more time getting in trouble than you did ever trying to move up in the world.
Maybe. Maybe not. But it's kill or be killed. I don't see any room for this right or wrong you talk about.
But don't you believe there's a God that tells you what's right?
Oh, yes. I forgot. You and Andrew are brand new members of Riverview Baptist Church.
You act like that's a bad thing.
God is a luxury rich people like you and your husband can afford.
God is not a luxury. He's the most important thing in my life.
Well, not important enough to give the 10% tithe the good Lord asks of you. But you barely give 1% of what you make to any kind of charity.
You may think you know our finances, but you know nothing about me or my husband.
They say you can judge a person's character by what they spend their money on. I mean, you have a nice house, nice cars. In fact, most of your money goes to yourself.
That's his parents. They got all this stuff for us. They want us to have nice things. And I'll admit, I let them do it. I could have given more. But we'll start whenever we get settled in.
Now, you might have graded yourself as a pretty decent person. But I'm the one you've got to convince.
You can sit here and think you got me all figured out. But God is the only one who can judge me.
Sometimes you have to judge to see whether a person's words match what they do. What is it Jesus says? Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me.
If you know his words, then why do you laugh when I say I believe in God?
Because I believed when I was younger. Even prayed sometimes. But then this older kid, a 9th grader, I think, started pushing me around. I tried to fight back, but no matter how hard I hit, he always hit harder. And so I prayed. Every night, I prayed that someone would stop him. And no one ever did. And I wonder why God would let something like that go on without stepping in.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Sorry. Well, that makes it all better. Thank you.
You act like I was the one bullying you.
No, but you aren't much different. He was some privileged kid with daddy issues who decided to take it out on me because he could. People like that, people like you, do whatever they want just because they can. So go on believing in your God because you can afford something that doesn't cost you anything. Me? I can't believe in someone that can't help me.
Can I have some water now?
Fine. Wear your glasses.
Left at the stove.
Don't go anywhere. I don't see any glasses.
It's right at the stove.
I don't see any glasses here either. Found one. That's enough.
Fine. Where were we?
Let's see. Oh. Killing you would be wrong.
I thought we just about worn that conversation out.
Okay. Let's try another way. Why did you marry your husband?
Why do you care? I married Andrew because I love him. There was a lot of prayer and talking through it, but I do love him.
Then why are you here with me instead of with the man you love?
Andrew and I are so different. He knows where we're going as a couple and a family. The future is so clear to him. It's never been like that for me.
So you're afraid of the future.
Oh, that's not it. I'm afraid of his expectations, of my own.
You can't live up to people's expectations. You just gotta check that shit at the door.
I wish I could do that, but I don't think anyone can escape expectations.
I did. They expected me to amount to nothing. I proved them wrong.
So stealing from people is making something of yourself?
I'm my own man. I decide what jobs I do and when I do them. No one is a master over me.
Until you get caught.
I'm too careful. I don't leave room for mistakes.
Except for right now. You're in the room with one very big mistake.
I won't be for long. You know, you could join me. I don't mean as a thief. I just mean you could be free. If you're not happy, leave Andrew. Go out and be your own woman.
That's not what I want.
I beg to differ. You're afraid of expectations because you want to be free. You have that wandering spirit. I can see the restlessness in your eyes because I felt it too. I don't like being trapped any more than you do.
You need to quit talking like we have something in common. I've come by everything I have, honestly.
Honestly, an honest woman would be sitting in seat 7C next to her adoring husband. The whole reason we're here is because you're not honest with Andrew or yourself.
So if I lie to myself, then that's wrong?
It's the only sin I believe in.
Do you lie to yourself?
I've been true to myself since the day I realized I was the only one I could count on.
But there are other kids out there in need like you were. Do you help them? You know, I think the problem is we're both bad people. And you may knock my believing in God, but I believe he helps the worst of people. He loves them. I know I haven't done the most with what I have. But I know the Son of God died for the bad things that I've done. And I know he didn't do all of that just so I could live in this stupid house or have some comfortable life.
You must be pretty important if God had to send his son just to die to save you.
No, he didn't do that just for me. I don't think I'm much worth saving.
Then what does he want to do with you?
I think he wants to change me. If his son did rise from the dead, that means there's hope for me. I don't have to be this selfish person that I've been. Maybe if we can let him change us, he can love us the way he wants to.
That all sounds like a fairy tale. And I'm sorry, but I don't think you've convinced me.
How can I help you?
Call police!
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Call police!
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Call policemen!
Calling voicemail.
Hey, looks like you ran away again.
No, wait.
It's strange
It's
waking
Andrew.
up and your wife.
Please, I just want to hear his voice one last time.
Hey, looks like you ran away again. It's strange waking up and your wife being gone. And we have a flight to catch in a couple hours. Actually, I'm about on the edge of worry, but I know you always come back. Guess this is just all so new. It's scary, I get that. But I want you to know that no matter what stupid things we say or do to each other, I thank God for you every day. And I love you. Through the bitter to the sweet.
So you're just going to kill me right here?
I told you. I always do what I have to. And I never walk away and leave a job unfinished.
I believe God gave everyone a conscience. And if what I believe isn't true, there's no right or wrong, then kill me now.
It's nothing personal.
Fair enough. I can slit my throat. If you can do that and still sleep tonight, nothing else I say matters. I won't even look you in the eye. Because one day I know I'm going to see Andrew again. I know it's going to be different, but it's going to be better. And that's a future I can look forward to.